Creating a detailed imagination is the first step in a future realization. The formation so devised will attempt to achieve its actualization in the world. Yet, it must contend with the readiness of the ground upon which it alights, the preparation of the soil, the proper support along the way, and avoidance of those forces and influences which will tend to either destroy, distract, or delay its coming to fruition. The formation struggles to survive, grow, thrive, and bear fruit. It may take time. The more far-reaching the intended outcome, the longer it may take. Relatively simple desires may not have much difficulty in manifesting. It is similar to the way we receive new ideas in our brains. A neural pathway is developed, and it may take several repetitions to fully form itself. Once it is there, when the vibration rises, it can immediately follow that pathway. Something less common may take some time to work out the situation. And, as the mother points out, most people have moved on from that formation by the time it comes to fruition, and they are left dealing with the fruits of a past action that they no longer really want to taste. If we leave behind, however, all the purely personal desires and formations of imagination, and move toward the larger scope of the evolutionary destiny of the human race, we may consider that time, past habit, karmic energetic flows and circumstances may throw up obstacles or delays, and thus we may not ourselves see the fruit of the formation. Rather, future generations will benefit from its realization. Imagine, for instance, that we can create a world of peace and harmony, where all human beings live with due care and consideration for all others, and also in balance with the world environment and the other beings with whom we share the planet. We do not let our personal greed, lust, or desires intervene in this balance. We create economic and political systems that carry out this intention so that we have no cause for war, gang brutality, or anything that might cause mass migrations. That we bring climate change under control and thus reduce the spread of disease vectors and reduce the intensity of destructive weather events. Imagine a world that we can create where art and music thrive, where people do not have to be enslaved their whole lives simply to survive, but can follow their ideals, their dreams, and their visions. Such a world, you may say, is not foreseeable in our immediate future. Yet, there is no reason that, given enough time and enough powerful intention behind it provided by many people who seek such a solution to the darkness and conflict we see in our present world situation, that such a result could not eventuate. Maybe 100, 200, 300, or 400 years represents the time frame necessary for the changes to take hold and effectuate the foundation of such a world of peace and harmony. A disciple asks, then is it through imagination that one can realize desires or aspirations? The mother responds, quote, that means, what exactly do you want to say? Imagining that the desire is realized and in this way help its realization? Yes, certainly, quite certainly. And ideals also? The mother replies, quote, only, usually yes, almost totally what people don't have at their disposal is the time it takes. But for instance, if you have a very powerful imagination and build up the realization of your desire, build it up well with all its details and everything, like an admirably made formation existing in itself totally, you see, well, you may be sure that if you live long enough, the thing will be realized. It can be realized the next day. It can be realized the next minute. It can take years. It can take centuries. but it is sure to be realized. And then, if to this imaginative power you add a kind of creative vital strength, you make a very living force of it. And as all living forces tend towards realization, it will put a pressure upon terrestrial events in order to be able to realize itself sooner. And it is realized. Only, as I said, there are two things. First, as regards desires, personal circumstances, one is not very persistent or very steady. And after some time, what interested you very strongly doesn't interest you any longer. You think of something else, have another desire, and make another formation. But now the first thing one imagined is very well formed, and after following its curve in space, it is realized. But by then, the person has started another construction because for some reason or other, the thing doesn't interest him anymore. And he is face to face with the realization of his first desire, while having already embarked upon the second, the third, or the fourth. So he is absolutely annoyed. But why? I don't want this any longer. Why does it come? Without his being conscious that quite simply, it is the result of a previous deed. If, however, instead of being desires, they are aspirations for spiritual things, and one continues his line with a regular progress, then one is absolutely sure to obtain one day what he has imagined. The day may be slightly far off if there are many obstacles on the path. For example, if the formation that you have made is still very alien to the state of the Earth atmosphere, well, it takes some time to prepare the conditions for its advent. But if it is something which has already been realized several times on Earth and does not imply too categorical a transformation, you may have it quite quickly, provided that you follow the same line persistently. And if you add to this the ardor of a faith and trust in the divine grace, and that kind of self-giving to the grace which makes you expect everything from it, then it can become tremendous. You can see things being realized more and more, and the most surprising ones can be realized one after another. But for this, there are conditions to be fulfilled. End quote. Reference, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, Powers Within, Chapter 3, Imagination, pages 32 to 33.